Hello friends, and welcome to week 1 of the Spring Flowers Mystery Quilt Along. For those of you that already have your kits, I know you're excited to get started. And for those of you that are interested in joining, we still do have some kits available, so click the link in the description box below. For those of you that have your kits, please feel free to print off your pattern, and that way you can follow along on your pattern while we're watching the video. And if you have any questions at all, please put them in the comment box below and I will answer your questions there. That way everyone participating in the program can benefit from your question or from any comments that you have. Thanks so much and enjoy week 1. This is not in the written pattern, but for organization, I have chosen to get 2 foam core boards. I picked them up at the dollar store. And what I like to do is I've got one that I am listing all of my print fabric cuts. So I'm going to list this from fabric 1. We've got an A and B cut, fabric 2, and so on, right to fabric 10 of our printed fabrics. Taken a second piece of foam core board and I'm going to label that background, and I'm going to use this for all of my white background fabric cuts, and I'm going to label spots from I right through to R to pin down and organize all of my background fabrics. As always, you know that my rule of thumb is to always best press my fabrics before I start cutting. I'm going to grab my Mr. bottle with some best press, and I am going to lightly spritz and press all of my print fabrics and all of my background fabrics. I'm going to let them sit to cool and dry, of course, before we start cutting. Now that the fabrics are dry and cool, it's time to start cutting. So you can either print off your pattern and have it there beside you. I chose to simply have my laptop open. That way I could have it open exactly to the fabric that I was cutting and have it there as a reference to glance over at while cutting. So follow your pattern. Again, we'll start with fabric 1. Cut the squares according to your pattern, and then I will pin them to the allotted slot on my foam core board. And then you'll continue through cutting all of your print fabrics. Okay, so we've finished cutting all of our prints, and again, this isn't written in the instructions, but as I have in previous quilt alongs, I like to use my little foam core board here that I picked up at the dollar store, and I will put my fabrics in order. So fabric 1 right through to fabric 10, and then I will put my cut pieces and label them according to the pattern. So again, this is fabric 1, there's an A and a B. In fabric 2, there's an A and a B. So there's lots of A and B pieces going through, A, B, and then fabric 8 changes up. So this is a different cut, and that's a C. And then fabric 9, again, we've got 4 different size pieces, and then fabric 10 again is 2 different, oh, and there's a B here. So yeah, so this is how I'm going to keep all of my prints organized, and now we will move on to our white background print. So the white background print is not too much to say here. It's all the same fabric, so it's easy in that regards, but there are 10 different size cuts. So again, take it slowly, one by one. You've got fabrics labeled from I right through to R, and again, we'll just cut one at a time and then move them over to the foam core board under the corresponding letter. So there we have all the cuts for our white background. So as you can see, I've done another little styrofoam board here for the background pieces. These ones here, especially because it is all the same fabric, I found this very handy. So what I did was I cut my strips first for the I fabric, subcut them down into the squares, placed them on the foam core board. I then went on to the J cut, did my strips, subcut them down to the squares, and pin them onto the board, and so on and so forth. So I'd recommend to do that. Just do one at a time, and then pin them in place as you complete them, and then you will have everything nice and organized for when we start sewing.